Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are now. Welcome to our webinar at FIP, and thank you so much for joining us live, and to all those listening in afterwards. I would like to also welcome all of our speakers that are waiting to speak to you today, and who will also help me facilitate this session. My name is Dalia Bardas, and I am the lead at FIP for Provision and Partnerships Program. I am honoured to welcome all of you to this webinar and to our speakers who will support me facilitate this session. Together, we promise an interesting, a promising and an informative session for all of you. I am particularly honoured to take part of this event, which will showcase the beginning of a successful new partnership with a provider who has acquired the FIP seal for a program on leadership development. One of the first to acquire the seal through our newly established program for provision and partnerships at FIP. And today we invite you to learn more about this program, the partnership, and the program that's been awarded the seal. As I already mentioned, the event has got a couple of objectives, but we hope to share with you today a description of the drivers and the purpose of the Provision and Partnerships program. We will also announce this new partnership for the FIP Seal Pharmacists for the Future program by Curriculo Solutions based in the UK. We will also share how FIP members can benefit from this program. We will also describe the PFP and hear from previous participants that have tried this program and were enrolled in it through sharing of testimonials. We will also share how you can enroll in the PFP program and avail of a special offer for our FIP members. But some housekeeping before we proceed with the session. The webinar is being recorded and live streamed via YouTube. The recording will also be available on our website, and you can access that on www.events.fip.org, and you're very welcome to share this link with your colleagues and friends. You may ask questions using the question box provided here on Zoom. You're also welcome to provide feedback to us via emailing us on webinars@fip.org. And finally, we would like to encourage you to become a member of FIP, and we will be sharing a QR code with you later on. However, the link is shared here on the screen, and we will share this as well for you in the chat box. And it is via fip.org/membership_registration. We have a selection of esteemed speakers with us today. From FIP, we have the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Catherine Duggan, and we also have from FIP, Dr. Amanda Canvas, who is the YPG representative. We also from Curriculo, our new partner, we have the directors, Karen Glenn, David Morrison, and we also have two pharmacist trainees and pharmacist student, Reese Llewellyn and Amna Sulaiman. I'll be introducing each one of our speakers more thoroughly as we progress. The event will start off with a message from our CEO, and then we will move on to hearing from the directors of Curriculo about the partnership and delve more into the actual program, the Pharmacists for the Future program. We will hear from Amanda on YPG involvement and collaboration in this particular partnership. And we'll also hear some testimonials. We will then move on to a Q&A session where we'll all be available to answer any of your questions. And we will also conclude with giving you more information about the FIP Seal, the Provision and Partnerships program, and conclude with some announcements. As I mentioned right at the beginning, I'm honoured to be able to share today's session with all of our speakers and with all of you, because at FIP, a global platform for provision was identified as a concept during the 2019 FIP Congress and approved by the FIP Council as a direct member benefit. The Provision and Partnerships Program was established in 2021 to provide a global platform for our members and potential partners to engage, to develop, and to support FIP members through partnership to support the advancement of workforce everywhere. With forward-thinking strategies and evidence-based goals, FIP works to identify transformative opportunities to advance pharmacy across all sectors and roles. By offering a global platform for collaboration and partnerships among members and partners, FIP provides us an opportunity to bridge training and professional development gaps that may exist in different parts of the world. Now, member organizations with needs for professional development programs across science, practice, workforce, or education can be connected and supported through FIP. And we do this through quality assured programs from other member organizations and potential partners with quality offerings that can address those needs and educational or training gaps. With a focus on enhanced regional and national engagement, FIP acts as a conduit, facilitating collaborative, needs-based partnerships and tailored provision to advance pharmacy everywhere as part of our mission and vision at FIP. It is my honor now to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Catherine Duggan, our CEO, who will enlighten you more about the program, its imperatives, and its aims. Dr. Catherine Duggan is the Chief Executive Officer at the International Pharmaceutical Federation, FIP, as I've mentioned. She took up her role in The Hague in June 2018. Catherine is responsible for visionary leadership, support, development, advocacy, and growth across the 146 member organizations and the 4 million members FIP represents. She is responsible for developing and the delivery of our strategy, planning, and working across global organizations such as the World Health Organization and the United Nations and other international professional groups. Catherine chaired the World Professions Health Alliance, which represents 31 million health professionals across medicine, nursing, dentistry, physiotherapy, and pharmacy in 2019, and also signed the FIP Memorandum of Understanding with WHO in May 2019 at the World Health Assembly meeting, which consolidates the collaboration and secures how pharmacy contributes to primary health care to deliver universal health coverage. Upon taking up the role, Catherine at FIP, that is, Catherine was awarded an honorary professorship from the School of Pharmacy, University of Nottingham. She has been awarded fellowships at both the Royal Pharmaceutical Society and the University College of London School of Pharmacy, and is a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. Catherine, it's my pleasure to hand back to you to walk us through some of your reflections, but also introducing our audience to the Provision and Partnerships Program, the vision, the imperatives, the aims, and where we're going with it. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Dalia. How exciting to be with everybody today. I really think this is a moment that we will look back on in years to come and remember what brought us here today. So as Dalia has mentioned, I'm just going to provide a little bit of context for why we need such programs as the one that Curriculo has developed. Now, I joined the Federation in June 2018. In October of that year, there was a United Nations WHO Congress held in Astana in Kazakhstan, and that was celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Alma-Ati Declaration, which had been signed in 1978, that really pulled all the member states together to focus on how we would keep people as well as possible and how to manage primary healthcare, involving all the professions and all the nations in this. At that Congress, it was noted how much progress has been made, but also how much progress there was to come. That, alongside with the growing threats in terms of global health, really meant that the health professions had to step up and sign up to the Astana Declaration. So it was my great honour to be able to sign FIP up to delivering the Astana Declaration and all that it entailed, to position pharmacy across our globe and our regions as pivotal in the delivery of primary healthcare, to argue and advocate for the fact that pharmacy is available at the point of every single medicine's manufacture, discovery, delivery, and then, of course, across all the different health sectors globally. So we signed pharmacy up for that. And then when we revisited our mission and vision, we decided to create a program of change across FIP, building on what had been successful in the past. By collating our work under three big areas, non-communicable diseases, the prevention agenda, and safety, we were able to describe and define most of what pharmacy does on the front line with patients at the heart of delivery. The prevention agenda, for example, covers all things from vaccination through to self-care. The safety agenda, for example, includes all things such as drug safety, substandard and falsified medicines, all the way through to shortages. And then, of course, NCDs focus not only on the 5 NCDs from the UN, but also on all the comorbidities that patients present to pharmacy. Now, being able to present evidence of impact of pharmacy's role regionally and nationally in all of those 3 areas of work, we would be able to persuade governments of the role that pharmacy plays and be able to demonstrate this through data and intelligence. So we pulled together a few pieces of work to deliver this. Firstly was to reaffirm our long-standing relationship with WHO. As Dalia mentioned, we signed a follow-up MOU with them, building on the relationship we've had since 1948. Secondly, we sought to expand the pharmaceutical workforce development goals that the Federation had developed and launched in 2016, which comprised 13 areas of workforce development and education. Those goals had been devised and developed in response to the Human Resources for Health report from WHO, and really positioned pharmacy very well to be able to play our part in the health workers' shortages that were being predicted at that time. So we sought to expand, consolidate, and develop those goals to include all areas of science and practice as well. And that culminated in the 21 development goals that you see on your screen here, which we launched on the 21st of September 2020. Last year, we sought to roll all 21 goals out, and through our regional development meetings, we sought to see which of those goals were the priority areas for our nations and our regions. Also, by collating those goals into the NCD prevention and safety agendas, we would be able to demonstrate evidence of impact. And as part of last year's work, we also sought to develop indicators at different levels, which then would be used as measures of evidence, measures of impact, and intelligence to support reports, advocacy, and the Health Ministers Summit. This is the driving force for our Global Pharmaceutical Observatory. You can see the icons there on the side. The issue then for us was not only to identify needs, priorities, and gaps, but also to identify where we might be able to bring those who had the needs up to scratch with those who had the examples of best practice. Really building on the United Nations phrase of leaving nobody behind. It's up to pharmacy now to be able to share good practice, support each other, develop ways in which we can learn from each other, and that entire world of pharmacy advances at pace and that we leave nobody behind. Indeed, if our mantra is about advancing pharmacy worldwide, it's not enough for us to see some countries shine and some countries left behind. It's important that we all advance together. And that's where the support that the FIP Council gave us in September 2019 for developing a platform, both physical and a metaphorical, a platform for provision where FIP could work with partners to co-develop some programs, but also to recognise good provision where it exists in our member organisations and our other organisations, such as Curriculo. Having this global platform for provision will enable those countries that find themselves in need of development opportunities able to access quality provision and able to access it based on their needs and their wants. I've mentioned the Astana Declaration today. There are many other programs of work that FIP is leading, such as our UniTwin program, which twins together, partners together, universities that have curricula with those universities that may be needing some development. We know what's needed, though, across our countries, across our regions, globally, but also individually, is the development of leadership skills. At any stage of our practice, it's really important that we know how to negotiate, that we're able to persuade, that we're able to change minds through data and intelligence, but also that we develop our own leadership skills so that we can deliver that effectively. Therefore, it's really important that we have leadership skills available for our young early career pharmacists, those who may be changing sector or those who find themselves changing roles or changing jobs. It's important that we focus on the early career pharmacists in our profession, early career pharmaceutical scientists in our profession at the very get-go. And that's where Curriculo's programme comes in. We're delighted to be able to announce this partnership, to be able to learn from Curriculo's programmes, and for them to be able to adapt and respond to the needs of our members and our regions globally. It's really important that FIP builds on partnerships. We mentioned the partnership and then the consolidated memorandum of understanding we have with WHO. We have others with UNESCO, United Nations. We have others with colleagues like Curriculo. We can't do everything on our own at FIP. We can't do everything on our own as individuals. So partnerships provide us with the platform to mobilise our profession and for us all to advance together. Dalia, I'm really excited to be here at this event today. I hand back to you. Thanks a million.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for really setting the scene for our audience and also for those listening in afterwards. That was really, really helpful. Thanks a million, and thank you for all your support in this program, Catherine. I'd like then to proceed to introduce you to our next speakers from Curriculo, who will walk us through the partnership journey that they have undertaken with FIP, and they will also share with you more information about the program that has been awarded the FIP Seal. I will start off by introducing Karen Glenn. Karen is the Director of Curriculo Solutions in the UK. She is a member of the Institute of Leadership and Management, Associate Member of the Community Learning Standards Council. Karen has a Master's in Human Resource Management from Strathclyde Business School and education background, and has been involved in designing and delivering innovative programs to help individuals transition from education to work and career transition initiatives. Karen has extensive experience as a line manager in the private and public sector. After graduating, Karen worked in various sales and business development roles within the pharmaceutical industry and prior to Curriculo Solutions. She was the head of the careers at Skills Development Scotland. Karen's passion is in coaching individuals to reach their potential and developing initiatives to help them reach their goals and ambitions. Welcome, Karen. But also I'd like to introduce David Morrison, who is also a director at Curriculo Solutions and is also a member of the Institute of Leadership and Management and an associate member of the Community Learning Standards Council. David is a graduate of the Elite Royal Air Force Officer Training College, Cranwell, and has a first-class honours degree in Leadership and Management, a distinction from the Association of the British Pharmaceutical Industry, and has over 20 years experience designing and delivering a range of training and coaching programs for a variety of clients across the globe, including aviation, logistics, hospitality, pharmaceutical, and engineer industries. After graduation and specialising in trauma and emergency care, David also served as an officer in the, I'm mistaken, David, I think you have to finish off that sentence for me. I think I've missed including this here, apologies. Welcome to both David and Karen. And also following Karen and David's presentation, we will also hear from Dr. Amanda Kavnes. Amanda is the 2022 YPG, that's Young Pharmacists Group Chairperson of Projects. She's completed a PGY 1 residency at the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters and a PGY 2 in pediatric pharmacy at Children's National Medical Center in the United States. She achieved board certified pediatric pharmacy specialist qualifications in 2020. She's also served in various leadership roles for IPSF and the American Pharmacists Association. She's currently practicing in pediatric hematology and oncology at Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters. With the brief introduction to the coming three speakers, I would like now to hand the floor to our first speaker, Karen from Curriculo. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you very much, Dahlia, for your kind words, and thank you also to Catherine for the kind introduction, and also for the great deal of support that you have given to us on our journey this far with FIP. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege and pleasure to be with you here today and to share with you some information about Curriculo and our newly awarded SEAL programme, the Pharmacists for the Future programme. I would firstly like to share with you a little bit of information about Curriculo so that you know who we are and you know what it is that we have to offer you in terms of training and professional development. I'd like to share with you some information also about our leadership programme itself, the Pharmacists for the Future programme, and I'd like to specifically discuss some of our ambition around partnering with FIP. We're also going to take this opportunity today to share some information around testimonials and feedback that we've had from a pilot that was conducted last year. And I'm delighted to say that we've got two of those participants with us today to speak with you, specifically tell you about their journeys, but also to share with you during the question and answer session some of their experiences. We at Curriculo are learning and development specialists. We're based in the UK, and indeed we're in Scotland, and we work within various different sectors. We use self-directed learning and face-to-face classroom-style learning, as well as online workshops in our approach. More often than not, however, we prefer to have a blended approach to our learning because we feel that that suits our customer base much better. We are passionate about skills development, and we want to share this leadership and career management journey with you in order to help you to understand a little bit more about what we have to offer. So who do we work with and what do we do with them? Well, we work in the corporate world with businesses, and we help them to unlock the potential in their teams by providing solutions to help to deliver their people strategy. Next slide, please. We work with professional sporting bodies and professional athletes, and we help them to prepare and to plan for their next career. Often that comes sooner than they anticipate. And we work within education. We work to support universities to provide, for example, programmes around professional development, skills development training programmes for MBA students and master students. And we do that around topics such as leadership development and negotiation skills. Primarily, however, we are here to speak to you about our programme for you, for pharmacists. We work with pharmacists, and we have worked with pharmacists over the last few years to develop our PFP programme. We've worked with many of your colleagues to help to develop both the structure and the content of this programme so that it can indeed help to deliver and make an impact on what you do day to day. The role of the pharmacist has moved on considerably, and the responsibilities you have, whether you are in hospital, community, industry, research, or one of the other many recognised areas in pharmacy, we believe that we can help you to improve, to give you the confidence by providing you with the necessary skills to fully and purposefully do your job. So let's share with you a little bit about the Pharmacists for the Future programme and where it has evolved from. Well, to be fair, David and I have used our experience to help to develop the content, the initial content of the programme. We then went to many of our customers, we looked at our customers' needs, we listened to what those customers' needs were, and we developed the programme even further. We then took this into a pilot phase and we piloted the programme across the UK, working with a student group, the BPSA student group last year, and we will tell you a little bit more about that shortly. We had students, first year students, all the way through to foundation year students on that pilot with us. We've also tested this in hospital departments and in community teams. We've consulted with professionals in academia in order to get insight from that side of things as well. And most recently, you will not be surprised to hear that we have mapped our learning outcomes with the FIP development goals and values, and we have looked to align our learning with the YPG Career Development Toolkit. This programme is approved via the Institute of Leadership and Management, and it's now, we are delighted to know and to say that it is now has FIP Seal-award in addition to this, and we are delighted about that. And today we are here to launch the partnership between Curriculo Solutions and FIP, and specifically in relation to the Seal Award for our PFP programme. It's interesting to note that way back as far as 2016, Professor Sharman said, and I quote, "The continued development of pharmaceutical services and sciences in order to meet the healthcare needs of patients and healthcare systems around the world relies on well-educated, competent, sufficient and well-distributed pharmaceutical workforce." And we heard from Catherine earlier just how far things have come since that quote was recorded. But this quote helps us to describe very nicely, alongside what Catherine has already said, the rationale for developing this partnership and the start of what we wish and expect to be a great collaboration. There's a great deal of work, many of you will know this, there is a great deal of work goes into planning this type of partnership, and you will be aware of that, I am sure. We've been on this journey with FIP since last year. We first looked to establish whether or not we had a common set of values, and we are delighted to say that that existed without any qualm. Very soon after we did that, we were able to see within the FIP strategic plan just exactly how Curriculo, through our PFP programme, could support you as members in your professional development journey. And we see that clearly from the strategic intent of FIP. We then mapped our learning outcomes with the PFP programme with FIP's development goals. And we identified many synergies within the Career Development Toolkit. Ultimately, we were able to establish a great fit between these two organisations. And it was from there that we pursued our Seal Award for the PFP as our first programme, working with Dahlia, and I'm delighted, as you will know, that we indeed have been granted that. And I'd like to say publicly here a huge thank you to Dahlia for all of her support and guidance in this process. We are quite genuinely thrilled to be working with you. So for me, the Seal approval for the Curriculo PFP programme represents an opportunity for our two companies, our two organisations, to come together, utilising our strengths for mutual benefit, very much fitting what Catherine has just said to us. We hope that this is the start of a great and long-lasting partnership, and the opportunity we have to present some of our future programmes for Seal Award, our Seal Award in the future. We hope that this will come shortly. What I'd like to do now, however, is I'd like to hand over to Amanda to share with us some of the details around YPG and indeed how she sees this in her perspective of working with Curriculo. Amanda, over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to give you all a brief introduction to the FIP Young Pharmacist Group. YPG was established in 2001 and has since grown to larger than 1,300 members from more than 100 countries. Membership in YPG is an added bonus for FIP members under the age of 35 or within 5 years of graduation with their first professional degree. YPG is led by a 6-member steering committee and a supporting subcommittee of 43 members. And there are various opportunities for professional and personal growth. Members can apply to be mentees in the mentorship program or participate in the leadership development program through Howard University. Those who are looking for volunteer or intern type involvement can apply for different projects through the remote volunteering program with FIP. Up-and-coming researchers can submit proposals for the Professional Innovation Grant, which provides funds for the completion of a research project. And then finally, we have a valuable resource for all early career pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists in the YPG Career Development Toolkit. In 2019, a YPG needs assessment survey found that early career pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists expressed a need for more career development resources. So to fill this gap, the Career Development Toolkit was developed and launched in 2020. The Career Development Toolkit aims to be a guide for YPG members to help them develop their career and build their expertise in pharmacy and pharmaceutical scientists. You can see that it matches with several of the FIP development goals. When YPG and Curriculo began working together, the first step in this process was mapping how Curriculo could work hand in hand with the already existing toolkit to help provide our members even more support and more opportunities for growth. Curriculo also supports many of these same development goals, specifically goal number 9, which you may have noticed on the image of the FIP seal. Our CDT, or the toolkit, will get you started and help you explore various career paths and practice areas within pharmacy. It walks you through a personal SWOT analysis, etc. But then Curriculo's content provides a structured deep dive into these topics. And the two resources really work synergistically without being too repetitive. I think that's one of the great things about using these two programs or two resources together. And we'll also be placing links to join YPG and learn more about us, to download the Career Development Toolkit, and also the links to learn more about the FIP development goals in the chat box. And now I believe I will turn it over to David to tell you some more about Curriculo and what it offers.
Thank you, Amanda. I will just very briefly share a video of David with you. What I'd like to do is just let you hear just a few minutes of David, my colleague, speaking on video here about leadership in the pharmaceutical, for pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists. You'll see for yourself already that David has worked in healthcare and within the pharmaceutical industry for quite a long time. And I'm very proud to say that David is our leadership guru within Curriculo. So without further ado, Dahlia, could you please start the video?
Hi there, I'm David Morrison, one of the directors of Curriculo Solutions. We have been recently approved as a partner organisation through the FIP Seal-award process to bring our Pharmacists for the Future leadership development programme to you. My personal clinical experience is in trauma care and emergency response teams. However, I am specifically interested in leadership development, and for the past 20 years, I've been designing and delivering leadership programs all over the world for a variety of organisations in different work sectors. Our approach is very much to demystify leadership as a concept and to provide practical tools that will help you to develop your leadership competence. Effective leaders demonstrate high levels of both personal competence and social competence. Personal competence involves self-awareness and self-management. Self-awareness means understanding your own style, your strengths and your limitations, and of course your emotions, along with your tendencies for responding to different people and different situations. Self-management represents your ability to choose what you say and what you do in order to positively direct your behaviour in regards to things like personal organisation, self-discipline and career management, along with emotional control and the image that you project to others. Social competence involves social awareness and relationship management. Social awareness is our ability to recognise the emotional states of others and involves social style and cultural awareness. And of course, our perceptions, so that we can be tactful, empathetic, patient, and tolerant of other people. In other words, to be approachable. Relationship management means being able to use awareness of other people's emotions to choose what and how you say things in order to have your own views heard and to achieve positive results through influence, persuasion, and clarity in your own communications. The Curriculo Solutions Pharmacists for the Future programme is a foundation programme to help you to take control of your career and to build your personal and social competence, to set you out on the road to becoming the best leader you can be. For more details about the programme and how we will help you, please listen to the information presented by my colleague and fellow director, Karen Glenn. And we are genuinely looking forward to meeting you and welcoming you onto the programme.
Thank you, David. Can I just hand over now to you to take us through these next few slides?
Terrific. Thanks, Karen. And hi, everyone. Thank you, first of all, for watching and listening to my introductory video with its messages about building leadership capability to empower pharmacists and to transform pharmacy leadership. We have a passion for developing people to help them to find their unique blend of strengths, both as individuals and as part of a team. If you work in academia, we hope you will consider our Pharmacists for the Future programme to support your students so that they are able to blend their academic and technical skills with real work scenarios so that they perform well from day one in the workplace, irrespective of where that may be. If you are a student, the programme will support you by giving you the confidence and capabilities to secure placements or job opportunities by impressing employers with your ability to be effective team players, transferring seamlessly from university to the working world with the knowledge and skills to manage your career aspirations. If you are an early career pharmaceutical scientist or pharmacist, the programme will help you to demonstrate your leadership potential and make sense of the relationships you have to nurture to kickstart your career. For team leaders, this programme will give you a strong foundation in key leadership capabilities and the skills to maximise the potential of the individuals within your team and to create, therefore, genuinely high-performing teams. Essentially, whatever the stage of your pharmacy career, the programme of learning will ultimately empower you to unlock your potential and help you to contribute effectively to healthcare delivery. Next slide, thanks. Allow me then to explain why the PFP is able to cater to the needs of such a wide pharmacy audience as I have just suggested. The cornerstones or the foundations of exemplary leadership practice are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, each of which are addressed within the programme. What this particular programme does, however, is to show you how to blend these key elements together in a way to enhance your professional development and your employability and career prospects, very much in keeping with the FIP Development Goal 9 objectives. I would like now to share some deeper understanding of the content of the programme with you in another short video overview, which will explain the 5-module or 5-level approach that we've taken to help you to build your personal leadership skills and also what we might refer to as building global citizenship behaviours. Let's have a look at that video.
The Curriculo Pharmacist for the Future program offers a comprehensive and holistic approach to developing personal leadership skills, social skills, and professional skills for newly qualified pharmacists. These skills are highly valued by potential employers across the whole spectrum of the pharmacy sector. This program underpins and supports your efforts to raise your leadership and employability competence levels and will help newly qualified pharmacists to differentiate themselves in a global market which insists on healthcare professionals having employability knowledge, skills, behaviours and attitudes above and beyond their academic qualifications on their own. As a consequence of engaging in this learning and completing the 5 sequential modules, learners will be equipped to present themselves as individuals with a clear understanding of desired global organizational citizenship behaviors. These are behaviors that are sought by employers. Organizations increasingly need people who can blend self-awareness and social awareness with the science of teamwork, producing confident individuals who are motivated to effectively manage their personal leadership journey and pharmacy career plan. Level 1. The Science of Teamwork and Personal Skills Audits. Fundamental to leadership within any workplace, particularly pharmacy, is emotional intelligence. Level 1 starts the journey of self-discovery by asking learners to complete some benchmarking inventory questionnaires. A comprehensive team strengths profiling inventory helps learners to identify their preferred team role and to understand personal team working strengths and limitations. This learning also helps individuals to identify the preferred styles of others within a team environment and gives clear insights into how to adapt personal behavior to better engage with and influence others. Level 2. Aligning personal ambitions with employer needs. Level 2 looks at planning your leadership journey within pharmacy. The importance of developing a professional network is also covered here with comprehensive understanding of what a professional network is, how to develop a network, and how to use it to your advantage. Level 3. Building a personal profile that appeals to employers. Effective leadership is underpinned by effective communication skills. Level 3 develops professional communication skills by looking at typical organizational communication barriers and how to limit their potential for miscommunication and conflict. Additionally, your ability to communicate your personal style and therefore the value you add to an employer is covered in a detailed session which helps you to develop a personal brand matrix. Finally, we show you how to use effective communication skills and your newly created personal brand matrix to write a compelling CV or resume in response to job descriptions. Level 4. Selling yourself at interview. Having developed your personal brand matrix and a compelling CV in Level 3, Level 4 helps learners to articulate the value they can add to an employer in person. In other words, at interview selection. We explore the variety of interview options used by employers and talk through preparation, including how to answer competency-based questions. Level 5. Developing your leadership journey and your personal career plan. This final level pulls together everything that you have learned from this program to sharpen your leadership skills and navigate your career ambitions. While having flexibility to take advantage of opportunities that may arise is helpful, establishing a longer-term career plan is attractive to employers and can reduce the potential for you to find yourself being underemployed. Learners are asked to do some groundwork by researching a job, position, or sector of pharmacy employment which interests them, and with our very clear guidance and templates that will start to collate useful information which can be used to plan their future career as a pharmacist. We then show you how to pull all of the information together to give yourself an impressive leadership journey and career plan which will help to shape your future in a way that is personally meaningful. Empower yourself to take control by developing your leadership skills. Make effective connections with employers, enhancing the likelihood of securing the role of your choice.
Okay, so I do hope that the video information has provided a little more clarity regarding the programme content. However, just to summarise and make it a little bit clearer, let me outline for you that the programme end to end is a 12-week journey. After an introductory online workshop, the modular learning is self-directed with an allocation of 2 weeks for you to complete each module. Now, this learning can be done anywhere by simply accessing the Curriculo Learning Management System online. At the completion of each module, we will run an online module review workshop to ensure understanding of the learning and to also give you an opportunity to ask questions that you may have, to afford you the opportunity to challenge some thinking around the content, and of course to share examples of difficulties that you may have encountered. And finally, it's an opportunity to share examples of best practice in action. So ticking the box, if you like, for collaborative learning. Okay, thank you again for listening to me. Allow me to conclude now by saying that we are committed to the principles of this programme, and we are confident in regards to how this will help you to develop. However, we believe it's important that you hear from those pharmacists who have benefited from completing the Pharmacists for the Future programme. So I'm now going to hand back to my colleague, Karen Glenn, who will be in a position to share some testimonials with you. Over to you, Karen.
Thank you, David, and thank you for running through that information with us. So as promised, I would like to share with you some of the details of the survey we ran last year, and also allow you to listen directly to some feedback of some of the learners who have been through the PFP programme. Let me share some of the highlights of the pilot with you first of all. This pilot we ran last year with members of the BPSA. All those members who opted in completed the programme within a 5-week schedule, quite different to what we now offer in terms of 12 weeks. Each week, those learners completed one module and attended one workshop, as David described. And after completing the entire programme, the learners completed a survey. And we also were very fortunate to get some feedback directly using video from some of those learners, which we will indeed share with you today. So let me give you some of the highlight results from that pilot group last year. What we found from the survey results, that 100% of the learners who participated reported an improvement in their self-awareness, which, as David has described, is one of the key cornerstones of leadership. 100% reported improvement in their knowledge, understanding, and their ability to describe their team strengths, with 90% now more able to manage their career utilising the PI model. And 100% now appreciate the importance of building a professional network, and 85% of those people have a process to start that professional network for themselves. Moving on, just to give you a couple of little further results, 100% of learners reported an ability to communicate effectively and to articulate their unique attributes using our personal brand matrix. Again, 100% improved their understanding of interview process and the use of the STAR model, both to prepare for and to perform in interview. 90% reported that they had a clearer idea of the pharmacy sector in which they aspire to work, and 84% of those participants now have a career plan focused specifically on their specific aspiration and career journey. Good results there, I think you will agree. Before we go on to hear one or two of our participants in person, I wanted to share a video of one of our participants called Vivian. Next slide, please, Dahlia, thank you. So Vivian was a 4th year student when she completed our programme, and she took this video recording, so apologies for the quality of it. She has some very clear messages in this video, which is why we're showing it today, but I do apologise for the quality of the video in advance. Vivian is currently a foundation year trainee community pharmacist, actually here in Glasgow. But let's hear what Vivian has to say about her learning in the programme. If you could press play, please.
Hello, I started the Curriculo Pharmacist for the Future programme, also known as PFP, back in September, and I've kind of been guided through this by Karen. In this short programme, I was allowed to find out my team strength profile, so I came up as a chairperson, and this kind of helped me to work on my own strengths and help me grow. So the course has allowed me to be more self-aware and realise that I need to learn to kind of say no to more and be more effective with my time management. I've also become more aware of the importance of effective communicating and benefits of professional networking, so that I know that in order to maximise my potential, I need to be able to meet the right people and portray myself as best as I can. The programme has allowed me to kind of think ahead and plan my future career. So instead of thinking where I'm going next, I'm thinking where I see myself in the next 5 years and where I want to be in the next 10. The PFP programme has allowed me to be prepared and plan my journey. And as a student pharmacist, I've benefited from this programme, and I'm now looking forward to my next steps and getting out into the working world. When I speak about the programme and what I have learned, my peers have expressed their want to do something like this too, as we don't cover much leadership and forward career planning in our course. As the future of our profession, we need more guidance and expertise from people like Karen to maximise our potential.
Very kind words there from Vivian. What I'd like to do now is we have two of our participants here on this event with us today, and I thought it would be really useful to hear from them directly. So let me first of all introduce you to Rhys. Rhys is a trainee pharmacist at North Bristol NHS Trust and an MPharm graduate from the University of Birmingham. He has previously worked in community pharmacy and the pharmaceutical industry and is a trained vaccinator. Formerly, he was an executive member of the BPSA. Rhys has represented the UK pharmacy students at congresses in Serbia, Slovenia, and in Belgium. Rhys's interests in pharmacy are primarily health economics and global pharmacy, with a clinical interest in cardiovascular and renal medicine. Rhys, please could I ask you to share, just to take a couple of minutes to share your experiences of working with us on the PFP and what you found from the programme, how it helped you.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, hello to friends and colleagues around the world. It's a pleasure to be with you. I've recognised some names in the chat of some of my friends I've met through the years, so please show some love with the emojis if you're enjoying the presentation so far and are excited about this opportunity. As Karen said, I've been very fortunate to have some globally facing opportunities as a student pharmacist and now as a young trainee pharmacist. And this programme really stands out to me as one which equips you well to slot into that global perspective of pharmacy. We heard earlier on from Catherine and from several speakers about the way that pharmacy needs to advance universally, that there is no real healthcare without universal healthcare, and that we all play our role within that. And this program, I feel, is very strong in preparing you for that, most notably for myself personally, through the way the program encourages you to develop your team relationship skills, understanding of your own personal team working style or styles, because the program is very good at encouraging you to explore different facets of your personality and when you might use them, and the challenges that this may present when working within different teams comprising of members of different cultures and beliefs, and to really consolidate those skills of communication and continue to develop them. To all young pharmacists here, it's a skill we should be learning from very early on, I think, in our training. Communication is so important with our colleagues, members of different healthcare professions, as well as our patients and members of our communities. To those currently practicing, I would say it's a skill that we never master, as therefore we're never too highly skilled to need to learn more. And therefore, wherever you are in your development, there is always room for improvement. And I think we should embrace the chance to do that where we can, and more so the better if we can do it in forums such as this with various levels of experience and clinical interest. I'd also like to say that this is such a good opportunity to embrace and instill a culture of ambition and optimism within our profession from the youngest possible stage, to get those within their training looking at areas of clinical practice or general pharmacy practice which perhaps we don't meet those needs universally, and so encouraging us through constructing career plans and thinking about our professional networks to identify gaps in healthcare markets and within the pharmacy profession to build a more resilient and adaptable profession that can identify and address healthcare needs for our patients and for people around the world more effectively. And I would just love to say that I welcome all of your questions with regards to a pharmacy professional's perspective of completing this course and how it fits into life as a student and a young professional and the benefits of it. So thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. Continue showing some love and appreciation, and I look forward to your question.
Thank you very much, Rhys, for those kind words. I'd now like to introduce you to Amna. Amna is a fourth-year pharmacy student and also a pharmacy dispenser currently. Amna's right in the throes of her exams at the minute in terms of her preparation. But let me tell you a little bit about her. She knew quite early on what she wanted to do as a career and has been working towards that ever since. She's been working as a pharmacy dispenser throughout her studies, and she believes that this has really given her the opportunity to meet people that she believes she can make a difference with, while she's been able to put some of the theory of her learning into practice. Discipline, a good work ethic, determination and integrity have helped her this far. She enjoys contributing where she can and took up the post of student representative to voice the concerns of her year group for a couple of years and was nominated during the process of that as Course Rep of the Year. When not working or studying, Amna likes the great outdoors, and she does a lot of activities with her family, including hiking, canoeing, and whitewater rafting as well. In the future, she would like to travel the world more, and she would like to see where she can offer some of her help and support in different ways. Amna, could I ask you to take a few minutes, please, just to share your experience with the group of the PFP programme?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you to everyone joining the session today. So, with my experience on the programme, before I started the programme, I was a little bit worried about how I was going to fit it all around my busy schedule. But the programme is split into really nice chunks, so into modules, making it really easy to work through them at your own pace. As mentioned previously, they're split up into 2 weeks, and that should really help you be able to get through all the content. So, as you saw from one of the previous videos, as part of module 5, you'll get work through 2 different documents. So one is the work-based assignment, where you will research the career path that you want to take and learn a bit more about the organisations that you'd like to work with. And then after that, you'll go on to complete a career planning document. That's really where you have the opportunity to reflect on where you are right now, where you want to be, and what skills you need to get, what skills you need to achieve, or what skills you need to brush up on to achieve those goals, and when you need to have it all done by. So when I started the program, I already had an idea of what I wanted my career to look like. But through completing the career planning document and answering all the questions, I was essentially able to create a checklist for myself and work through that in order to get to my final goal. And if you take on the program, you can do exactly the same thing, and it will help you achieve the goals that you want to get to, and really get the career that you want. And it's something that you can always go back to. So you can go back to that document and fill it in as things change, because things do change. And I can tell you so much more about this right now, but I know we're quite tight on time, so I'll move on to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, Amna, for those words. That's really, really helpful. And it's great to hear that both of you have had different outcomes from your learning with us. Next slide, please. So, what do we do if you are interested in coming to learn with us and being part of this learning journey? It's really quite easy. On your screen just now, there are 2 QR codes. The one on the left, please scan that if you still need some further information on the content of our programme. If you have enough and you're ready to go, please enrol using the scan on the right-hand side. There are also links in the chat box that will take you directly to our website and will allow you to start the enrolment process immediately. What I'd say to you, currently we have 2 price points for this programme. If you're fully qualified pharmacist or pharmaceutical scientist, then you will pay an FIP discounted membership price of €220. If you are an in-training pharmacist, you will pay €120. However, if you take up the mantle and you join with us before the 16th of May at 12 noon CEST time, then we will give you a further 15% discount. Okay, so we'd encourage you to do that. Once you enrol with us, we will give you access to our learning management system, where you will be able to start immediately looking at the introductory module. However, we will shortly thereafter share details of our introductory online session that we would hope for you to join. And at that session, we will give you all the details that you need in order to get going with the programme. And you will be given, for example, a schedule of module workshops to work towards. And finally, what I'd say to you is, if you join now and join before the 16th of May, you will get a really good deal as an FIP member. And we look to the date on this slide. Apologies, the date is incorrect. We hope to run the introductory with the first cohort from FIP on the 30th of May at 1 p.m. Okay. If you are not already a member of FIP, we would really encourage you to do so now, so that you can take advantage of these discounts and you can join us to start your learning journey. And final slide from me for today. This is just a call to action for you. We genuinely believe that we can help you to make a difference, both to you as an individual, for you as a team of individuals, and also to the wider FIP membership community. We believe that we can help you to improve your leadership skills, and we will empower you to take control of your future career through this learning. So come on this journey with us and help us to help you to be the best that you can be. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. And I would hand back now to Dahlia, and we will look to take some of your questions. Thank you, Dahlia.
Thank you so much, Karen, David, Amna, Reese, and Amanda for a really engaging presentation, clear, purposeful, and really informative. And I must say, Karen and David, I've also been reflecting, listening to you very carefully, that I want to say thank you to you for your collaborative approach, really talking about leadership skills and the importance of effective communication, self-reflection, and personal and time management. We've really worked so well together, and I thank you for your collaborative approach and professionalism throughout this journey with us at FIP. I would like to invite all of our speakers to put their cameras on so we can have everybody on the screen. I'll stop sharing the screen, and perhaps we can address a couple of questions that have come from the audience. Okay. Lovely. That was great, Karen, David, and colleagues. Thanks a million for your insights. And I believe we have a couple of questions that have landed with us. And I have one myself, actually, Karen. I might start with the question I've jotted down as I was listening to you and David. Perhaps some of our audience members or listeners afterwards would be curious about whether there was any assessments included in the course at all. Are there any assessments or forms of assessments in this course?
There are lots of different assessment points for individuals to assess and perhaps to work with some other groups to look through the content. At the end of each module, there is what we call a review of learning, and that is about the learner looking at what they've learned through that module and applying that in a work setting. So we ask work-based scenario questions in order to help that. In addition, there are also some quizzes within the course that help the learner to check their understanding of the various theories and models that are discussed throughout the content. There are no formal assessments in this. This is, I have to say, and it very much fits, Dahlia, with the FIP approach. This is about individuals taking on personal responsibility for their professional development and really applying themselves. One thing I would say before I forget is that if you do decide to take up this opportunity, we would very much ask you, and we will share this with you on our introductory session, but we would ask you to ring fence appropriate time for your own personal development, diarise it, and stick by that plan so that you are not only just working on a day-to-day basis, but you are taking and nurturing your own personal development. So I hope that answers your question, plus a little bit more.
No, it does. And a little bit more. No, I think that's really valuable because we do tend, even as working pharmacists, we do tend to get the nature of our work, it's quite immersive. And so you really are immersed in your day-to-day job to achieve particular objectives. But I think it is really important that we take that on board very seriously, Karen, that we give ourselves that chance to really hone in on what is it that we need to upskill in whilst we are working and pausing. And I think that's really valuable insight. So thanks for that. We actually have another question for those maybe pharmacists that have already been in practice for a number of years. How can this program help those that have already been in practice for several years?
Maybe I could
Yourself,
handle
David.
this one. Yeah, it's an interesting question. If I may use a little analogy here, you know, we're very conscious that there are lots of experienced people out there who may indeed have this sort of thought. What might I get from it? The one thing that I would say, Dahlia, is that, you know, the thing, if you watch a movie for the first time, and you might like some bits of the movie, other parts maybe less so. However, if you then watch the same movie for a second time or even a third time, very often you notice things that you missed the first time around. So I think in any sort of learning event, whether it's the PFP or anything else, I think there is always an opportunity, even for those of us who might consider ourselves to be experienced, to still be able to learn from having a review session.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not many of us that have been in practice for a number of years have had the privilege of perhaps being trained in leadership management or personal management at an earlier stage. And I think that it's absolutely never too late to be able to pursue development in this particular area. Thanks, David. Was there anything else, Karen, that you'd like to add to this particular point?
Yeah, there's one final thing that I would add to that, Dahlia, and I think it's in those circumstances where it's appropriate for teams to take on a team learning experience, where you have a mixture of inexperienced young trainee pharmacists and more experienced people at the other end of the scale. I think this programme is a programme that can pull teams together if they work on it at the same time, and they can support each other and support each other's learning. So I think there's opportunities there for experienced people to also work with less experienced people within that team environment, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Karen. And the beauty of the summary that you have provided us today is the fact that it sounds quite relatable to many of us that are living in different parts of the world, that the leadership skills that the program is promising to offer is generic, universal, applicable, relatable I believe, from what I've learned, to no matter what sector you're in, which practice level you're at, or which country you're based in. And so I think that's quite important that we really emphasize this. Having a look at some more questions. I've got one, perhaps even recent, and Amna perhaps could maybe shed some light on this, and David as well. But what happens if, because of work commitments or time differences, I find it difficult to join an online workshop review session?
Yeah, I don't mind speaking first on that. It's a challenge we all face. It's one that the program again covers. Managing your time, it's a professional skill and a personal skill that we can all continually improve. One thing I really enjoyed about the course was the team itself that formed from the participants that undertook it. So as a group, we had a WhatsApp chat, and I'm sure there'd be a multitude of platforms you could use to achieve the same goals. And hopefully, as this goes forwards, international perspectives on this, but for ourselves, it was the chance to speak to our friends and colleagues we were completing the course with, ask their advice about the points that have been covered, and then we could always refer back to Karen or our mentors with any questions about the material. It's a challenge that we'll never get rid of. It's a busy profession and a busy life, especially for those of you engaged in many projects. So don't see it as a barrier, but an opportunity to get to know your team better and build those relationships with your colleagues and your mentors, and obviously the people delivering the content.
Yeah, may I add just a little bit to that as well, just for some clarity, that the online workshop sessions, very much in the same vein as what we're doing today, we record the online workshop sessions. So there will be an opportunity for anyone who misses the real-time event to go back into the recording and have a look at the chat that has gone on in the review session. In addition to that, we have also prepared pre-recorded module review sessions. So people who miss the real-time event have two opportunities. One is to log into the actual recording of the workshop event itself. And then secondly, for a deeper reflection and overview of the learning content, the module review video will be there also. So there's a comprehensive backup system in place.
Thank you so much, David. That's really helpful. We have a question in the Q&A, and I think Karen and David perhaps could enlighten us here. The question is, are there any special discounts for young pharmacists from low and middle or developing countries?
Hi, Dalia. As you know, that is certainly one of our intentions, is to provide opportunities. It's really important for us that there is equality of access. And what we would ask is if there are any individuals from these countries who may struggle to find the fees to pay for this, then we would very much ask you to get in touch with us and let us have a conversation with you before we put something much more formal in place around that. And I know that sounds a little bit vague, apologies for that, but I think it's important that we have that agreement with you and Catherine in advance, but there is certainly a willingness to work something out in order to achieve that.
Thanks, Karen. This is an open invitation for the people that are interested in this particular question to email us directly. Happy to email Karen. She's got her email address, I think, in the chat box. I think it's hello, isn't it, Karen? Hello at Curriculo. Is it?
Actually, let me give you my direct email address.
Great, thanks, Karen. I would like to take this opportunity, whilst we're waiting on any other questions from the audience, maybe to invite Catherine, our CEO, to perhaps share any final words, remarks, reflections from what she's heard so far before we proceed to the next segment of the presentation. Thanks, Catherine.
Oh, thanks, Dalia. I've been really inspired by hearing how engaged everybody is on the event. And I also think colleagues need to know and be reassured that the beauty of this partnership is that we're all seeking to adapt, respond, and to grow this together. So whatever intelligence we get from those who have undertaken the course or those who wish to, or around all of the elements that you've been discussing. We just know that Karen and David will take that on board and evolve and develop. And that's the beauty of doing something like this in such a partnership, because it's not fixed in stone. And we know that we have to be responsive to the needs of our members and also to the wider profession as well. I'm very heartened to hear so much engagement, but I think what really plays for us is the testimonies we've heard already, and also the ways in which our colleagues today view this as relevant, timely, and appropriate for their development. So we cross our fingers and we look forward to the results that emerge, and we will be feeding back. And that, I think, is the answer to the profession, really, at the moment, that leadership in its very essence requires you to be adaptable and to be able to grow as things change and as you change over time. So let's do the same. Let's apply those same principles in this partnership with the course and the development. And that relies on all of you feeding back, feeding in, and taking us forward with you. Thanks, Dalia, so much.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Really encourage our participants to explore the Pharmacists for the Future program using the QR code that was presented earlier, and the information shared in the chat box. We really encourage you to explore yourself and to really contact Curriculo for any further questions. I want to thank the speakers for all the input and insights thus far. But what I would like to do, I'd like to conclude the Q&A segment. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for your participation, everybody. But I'd like to move us now forward just to a couple more announcements that are FIP related and more related to the actual program of the FIP Seal. So if I may, I'm just going to go back to sharing my screen. Colleagues, what you have learned today, you have learned about the FIP Seal and the provision and partnerships program that mobilized this particular partnership or established this, allowed the establishment of this partnership. And we look forward to many more. Actually, we have a number of potential providers already have applied for the FIP Seal, and this is supported by a quality criteria that was established in 2021. We actually have all of this information on our website that is here presented on the screen. You're able to navigate to this via visiting our website, www.fip.org. And if you click on what we do, you'll be able to see a tab there for provision and partnerships. That will take you to a page that will explain in more detail the program, and also will lead you to a couple of links to our handbooks. We have a handbook for the providers of programs, such as the one we described today, where a potential provider will apply for the FIP Seal, which is a visible sign of quality provision, but also is a visible sign of alignment with the International Pharmaceutical Federation vision, values, our development goals, our vision to advance pharmacy worldwide. This is what makes this FIP Seal unique and also purposeful for our member organizations to be aware of and to avail of. And so this is an open invitation to any of you on the call or listening in afterwards. If you're a provider of a quality program that you'd like to pursue the FIP Seal for, you're more than welcome to email me directly at dalia@fip.org. We also have an opportunity for accrediting bodies to apply for the FIP Seal, and this is explained comprehensively in the handbook for accreditation agencies that you can also access on our website. This program cannot be what it is today and to progress thus far without the support of the FIP Consortium. The FIP Consortium was established early this year in January, and it is an advisory group comprising experts in quality assurance and accreditation of pharmacy education and continuing professional development. We are really proud of our consortium. They work really hard with us to support the program and the assessment of the submissions. The consortium directly reports to the FIP Bureau, who subsequently ratify the consortium recommendations and the awarding of the FIP Seal. Again, I invite you to explore our website to learn more about the members and their responsibilities. What we've shared with you today is based on a number of established steps that I will not run through them now, but just wanted to let you know that we do have a process in place to get our potential providers to the point of submission and also of assessment of their programs. It starts off with a simple expression of interest, all the way to consortium appraisal, review, reaching a recommendation, reaching a consensus on the recommendation for those that fulfill the criteria that we have in place. And finally, Bureau has to ratify the consortium recommendation. Again, I invite you to email me directly if you're interested in FIP Seal for a program or as an accrediting body. But what I want to really highlight finally in relation to this program, whilst we've shared with you today one model in the program, which is the first model through the FIP Seal. And Catherine's already touched on this in her introduction, that some of our priority areas for this year revolve around non-communicable diseases, safety and prevention. We also have other models in which we can collaborate, cooperate, partner, work with other members in the field and our member organizations, where we actually co-develop or co-create a trainee program with the support of our member organizations and potential partners. So that's another way in which we can address some of the training and educational gaps that our members perhaps have indicated through intelligence and data. Finally, we also have another model, the FIP developed programs model, where FIP really takes charge of developing a program where we're able to host this on our online learning platform called FIPX. A recent example of this has been the Train the Trainer online course for educators on digital health. This is a member benefit Train the Trainer program that anybody can avail of if you're a member of FIP. If you just scan the QR code, you will be able to register your interest, and we will be able to enroll you subsequently if you are an FIP member. As stated earlier, if you are not yet an FIP member, we would welcome you to become one and join our FIP family and avail of the many benefits of being a member of this federation, really advancing pharmacy worldwide. Please feel free to scan the QR code, learn more about the benefits from our website. And if you have any questions, please do email us. I would like to take this opportunity to make a couple of announcements about upcoming major events FIP is hosting. The first one is the FIP Pharmacy Practice Research Summer Meeting for PhD students, Post-Doctoral Fellows and Supervisors. And this will be on the 4th and the 5th of July in the Netherlands. If you're interested to register and learn more about the program, please do scan this QR code. I know we've given you so many QR codes today, but I'm sure you've got them all saved on your Safari. The second one is, big announcement for us, is that FIP World Congress, the 80th Congress, is going ahead in Seville, Spain. And this is a major event for networking, sharing of information, exchange learning, advocacy opportunities for the profession. We usually meet once yearly. We haven't met face-to-face for a couple of years. This is an opportunity for us to get together again. The Seville conference will run in September, from the 18th to the 22nd. And just to let you know that you can submit an abstract, but the deadline is approaching by the 5th of June. And you'll be able to hear back about the result of this by the 1st of June. We do also have an early bird registration deadline of the 15th of July. We really look forward to see some of you in Seville, and we're really excited that this Congress is going ahead with a really comprehensive, purposeful program that's in place for you. Finally, I invite you to check all of our FIP digital events via the events.fip.org link. Any previous recordings of all of our FIP digital events you can avail of. The majority of them are free of charge for members and non-members. So please do visit our website to listen to those recordings, including this particular one. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us today. Thank you, our speakers, Thank you, Curriculo. Thank you, YPG, for the collaboration. Thank you, Reese and Amna. Thank you, Catherine, for your involvement and your support. And we really hope to learn about the next cohort, the new cohort that's uptaking the PFP program. Thanks a million for being with us. I'll leave you to stay well and safe and in good health. Goodbye for now.